Hey guys, it's another awful day for flying, so we're going to do a follow-up vlog and kind of go back on some of those issues we talked about in the previous vlogs, talk about what we've done, what the performance of the aircraft is now, and what the plan is going forward. Before we go too much further, I do want to talk about the spacing you need for a Sonex or a 1X. Here is a 1X with the wings fully extended. You've previously seen it with the wings folded, and it still fits with about 2 feet of extra room on either side in here in a standard T-hanger with them all. So you could probably easily fit a standard full-size Sonex in this hangar as well. So since the last vlog, I've put about 30 hours on this airplane, so I've got a pretty good feel for what it's doing now. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody for all the nice comments you made about the flying videos. Certainly I'm having a blast flying this airplane. It's just a hoot. Now, there is a plan to upgrade to a 2-seater Sonex. I actually enjoy the plane so much I'd like to get a bigger version so I could travel with my dog and my wife. So this plane will be for sale. I'm probably not going to put it on Barnstormers just yet, but if anybody's interested, feel free to leave me a comment below. Since I moved the exhaust and opened up the lower cowling, I've seen a lot of improvements in the performance. Both static and dynamic RPMs are 300 to 350 RPMs higher. It certainly is breathing a whole lot better. At cruise, I'm seeing 4.6 gallons per hour. That's cruising at about 3,100, which is usually about 105 knots. It's pretty good performance. It's climbing really well initially. The initial climbs are probably about 800 feet per minute. Once you get into a cruise climb, you're traveling about 100 miles per hour and typically seeing about 300, 350 feet per minute. So that's pretty good, and you can climb like that for a long time. If you were to try and climb at a very steep angle for a long period of time, you would see the CHTs and the oil temperature start to come up. But I think within a reasonable margin, this thing is actually doing pretty well at this point. One of the concerns that a couple of the commenters have brought up was the idea that opening the lower cowling could actually change the pressure differential and make it less likely to cool the cylinder heads as the air flows from the top cowling to the lower cowling by decreasing that vacuum effect. The funny thing about that, though, is that Sonex actually recommended putting a small smile, they called it, little cowl opening right near the oil pan. And that was recommended for the AeroView engines in the standard Sonex. If you read the AeroView manual, that is still recommended, and a lot of people have found that they have high oil temperatures if they don't have some sort of a lower cowling opening. So I think it is actually the right thing to do. Certainly it is breathing better. It's getting a lot more air into it, and it's not like it's running around on carb heat all the time, which is the way it was previously. So I think ultimately that was the right thing to do, and I'm happy with the performance. Overall, flight characteristics of this plane are awesome. It's very stable despite its short wingspan. Ground manners are extremely good for a tailwheel. It's probably the easiest tailwheel I've ever flown on the ground, so I'm very happy with that. So cruising performance has been really good. I've taken several long-distance cross-countries. I'm actually taking glider lessons at a distant airport. I've been cruising back and forth for 2.5 hours with no fuel ups in between. It comfortably cruises to 2 hours and 45 minutes with a 30-minute reserve. Sonex says that it is a 550-mile range. I think that's extremely optimistic. Everything that I'm seeing shows that you can go 2 hours and 45 minutes and you have exactly 30 minutes left. And so that's pretty accurate, and I think it's pretty reasonable for the speeds that I'm going. As far as just cruising comfort, it's not bad. The seating is actually pretty good. The trim is not quite as good as some of your standard cruising airplanes, but it's reasonable. The CG does tend to shift a little bit from the time you start with a full tank till the time you finish off, just because of where the gas tank is right here. Starts out just a little nose heavy, and it finishes out pretty good. Overall, I enjoy flying aerobatics at about half a tank. It's just a little nose heavy when you're in a full tank. I did go ahead and get a seat cushion emergency parachute. This is the type that you actually sit completely on the parachute, and you can add pillows underneath that if you like. This is actually really nice because it sits you up a little higher. For me, I've got a bit of a short torso, so it puts me to where I can see over the nose pretty easily when I'm flying. And it's very comfortable to use and fits under the 5-point harness. The cargo space underneath the turtle deck is actually pretty generous. There's a lot of space back here. I think they say you can put 25 pounds back there, but depending on your loading, you can put more potentially. I'm pretty lightweight, so I can load a lot of stuff in this plane and still be within balance. Avionics are pretty minimal. That might be worth upgrading at some point, but right now it's just fun to fly to AVFR anyway. And the other thing I did is I upgraded the tires. These are 500 size tires. I've been doing a lot of flying off of a short turf strip, 2,600 feet. And those make a bit of a difference in terms of the ground roll. I think they actually bring the nose into a higher angle attack, which is also nicer for getting off the ground faster. So yeah, everything seems to be going pretty well with this airplane. I've been very pleased with it. It is going to be for sale so that I can upgrade to a 2-seat Sonex. The price will be $27,000. If you guys have any questions at all, shoot me a comment in the comments below. And I do intend to keep on flying it, so I look forward to some more fun videos. Thanks.